Hey guys, Brian Deliver the Goods here, returning to you tonight for this premiere video. I think I'm going to probably premiere it at 4 a.m. for this review for the new Eidola record, Mend, that I got a chance to check out for myself to see what I was going to think of this record overall. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for the 13 tracks that are on this 48 and almost and a half record. Almost 48 and a half minutes. And I'll let you know my thoughts on the new Eidola Mend record. So let's dive into this album review. Now, pretty much from what I listened to, it starts with the opening track, Brahman, The Garden of Eden. An interesting opener, honestly. It's really nice and atmospheric. Sonically, it sounds really amazing. I really enjoyed the intro track to this record, so it starts off pretty strong. And going into the next track, which is one of the singles, Prodigy, which is one I will discuss about real quick. So 5 out of 5 for Brahman, The Garden of Eden. Prodigy was the second single for this record's announcement. It came out last month, at the beginning of last month, or sometime in mid last month, actually, to be precise. I think it came out December 13th, if I remember correctly. But honestly, from what I listened to, I really enjoyed the vibe to it. It's got an interesting vibe. Andrew Wells sounds pretty good vocally in this track. And there's some execution moments with how he's singing it from time to time that lyrically can be worked on, but other than that, this track flowed very well, and it's a 5 out of 5. Empire of Light is one of the regular songs on the record, and it is a strong track for sure. I really enjoyed Andrew Wells' vocals, and the screaming guttural vocals are pretty strong in this at a certain point in the track. I think it's close to the end of the song, but other than that, 5 out of 5. My Father's House is a pretty good song. It has a catchy vibe when the chorus kicks in, and I really enjoyed how the verses build up to the chorus. It has a good build up, and it's really interesting to keep listening through this track. So 5 out of 5. Kaleidoscope, it's a pretty strong track too. I'd give this another 5 out of 5 as well. Really enjoyed the vibe to it. I really enjoyed the overall experimentation with this track, and it's not afraid to try something new. Mostly this record is not afraid to try something new, even if it leans into the pop, post-hardcore, progressive rock stuff. So other than that, 5 out of 5 for Kaleidoscope. I really enjoyed the lyricism on it, and overall the execution of the track flowed very well structurally. A Pearl in a Dead Sea, pretty good track. I really dug Andrew Wells' singing vocals in this, and overall the execution of this track flowed very well, and just how it sounds overall, it's a pretty interesting track from what I listened to. Lyrically, it's well written, and overall, I think production and mixing, it did pretty well for what it was going for. So a good 5 out of 5 is well deserved for the 6th track on the record, A Pearl in a Dead Sea. Blood in the Water is a strong track. Really enjoyed this. Definitely worth listening to for sure. So a good 5 out of 5. It has some catchy moments, but there are some times where the tempo gets a little slow paced at times and makes it alright of a listen. But other than that, if you are used to what Eidola does with their music, then you're used to what you're listening to, and you will kind of catch on to what the vibe is for this track and for their other songs too. So you'll kind of get a grasp on what you're going to be listening to. But other than that, 5 out of 5. Renaissance is one of the most mellow tracks. It is a piano ballad. It sounds really nice from what I listened to. And overall, structurally, it sounds beautiful from how Andrew Wells is singing it. And just execution-wise, this track performed pretty well. with his vocals. So 5 out of 5. What It Means to Be Alone is a pretty good song in its own way. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 too, as well, because there were some moments where I did dig the track, and then there was a few execution flaws, but nothing to the extent where I am going to give it a 4.75. It's worthy of a 5 out of 5. It at least tried to entertain me, and it did. So, Restore Me is the next track, the 10th song in the record. Strong track for sure. Really dug the vibe to this one. I mean, there was some experimentation in the second verse where the trap beat comes in, and it's an acquired taste of what you're going to think of it. But overall, Andrew Wells makes it flow perfectly with the lyricism and all that. So I do dig it. He does some rapping moments in the track, but nothing to the extent where you're going to hear that through the whole song. That's why they call it experimentation. They're experimenting with different types of genres for their material, for what they usually go for. But other than that, they stick to the progressive rock and post-hardcore. But other than that, it's mostly pop-driven too, this record. But other than that, 5 out of 5. The Faustian Spirit is one of my favorite songs, actually. I'm going to be doing a special video about the best songs of November 2024 in the next few days, so definitely tune into that. And then I'll do the December one, which I don't think is going to be a lot. But other than that, The Faustian Spirit was the first single to announce this record's announcement. Came out in November of 2024. One of my favorite songs on the record. Really catchy too. Chorus is very memorable. The pre-choruses are pretty strong. And overall, Andrew Wells sounds good vocally and screaming-wise. It's pretty strong for a track. So 5 out of 5. Godhead Final Temple is a strong track. Going into the second to last track, which is Revelation, the Infinite Beauty of Oneness. But other than that, Godhead Final Temple had some good moments in the track. Good screaming, guttural vocals in the track that I really enjoyed, and just execution-wise, this track flowed very well. So I really dug this one. 5 out of 5. Revelation, the Infinite Beauty of Oneness, is the closing track to the record, and it's a great closing track to end this record. Didn't think I'd get used to Eidola's material, but surprisingly, I was very entertained with this record. But overall, Revelation, the Infinite Beauty of Oneness, is a 5 out of 5. So really dug this record. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Eidola pulled off a really strong record this year to open up 2025. So this is going to be one of the best records that I've listened to of 2025 so far. Sorry about the background noise. It's my notification. So other than that, I just think this record did what it set out to do. It was entertaining. It definitely left me in awe, thinking, okay, so they pulled off a pretty strong record. So even though Andrew Wells is with Dance Gavin Dance, he's also with this band and was committed to make an album for this band this year. And I'm glad they put out some new material, because I was really interested to see how this record would turn out. But other than that, if I were to give Eidola Men a score, I'm going to give it a perfect score of a 10 out of 10. Really strong record. Definitely worthy to be in the best albums of 2025 by the end of the year. When that comes around, of course. That's not for another 11 months. But other than that, yeah, I really enjoyed this record. One of the highlights for the start of the year, officially for me reviewing new 2025 albums. And overall, this record pulled it off for what it set out to do. To be more pop-driven, but with the post-hardcore and the progressive rock. But it still entertained me for the most part. So 10 out of 10 for Eidola Men. I hope you enjoyed this album review tonight, and thank you guys for watching.